Hey, Terry.
How are you? Good to see you.
It's so nice to see you again. We met 8 years ago.
Was it 8?
I don't know.
It was a
long
while ago. Yeah.
And maybe you want to tell them what we were doing.
The outdoor women's program. We were there, and I was teaching tracking to all you lovely ladies, and I would take 12 of you out in the morning and 12 in the afternoon and set up a whole scenario and make you find tracks and stuff. It was pretty cool.
So that's how we met.
Yep.
So we're going to start with, so this is Terry Grant.
Hi.
Mantracker. And we are going to get to talking about you being on a show, but first, why don't you tell us about where you started? Where were you born?
I grew up in southern Ontario. I moved out to Alberta when I was 19. Started work on a ranch. I wanted to be a cowboy. And we rode horses back in Ontario, and we chased stuff, but we didn't know how to be a cowboy. So we could rope and we could ride, but we didn't know how to do it. So we got out here, and I actually got working on ranches and learned how to be a real cowboy.
Alberta seems to be the place to learn how to be a cowboy.
Yeah, it helps. Yeah.
So you worked for other people's farms?
Yep. I worked on a bunch of different ranches and farms and.
Okay. Yeah. And then somehow you became Mantracker. Do you want to tell us about that? What got you into that? That
was pure luck, mostly. The producer lived in Toronto, and he had an idea for a show. And he went to the Toronto Sportsman Show looking for someone like that would make a good Mantracker.
Okay.
And he ran into my cousin, and he said, "Hey, you'd work. You're a cowboy and stuff, and you know how to ride a horse, and you look good." And he says, "Nope, I don't. I'm too busy, and I don't know how to track people, but call my cousin. He's a cowboy. He's with search and rescue." And 2 weeks later, two producers came out, and they videoed me, and that was February, and they called me back in May and said, "Yeah, you're it."
So let's go back then. What got you in? How did you get into search and rescue? So you were that first.
Yeah.
You had done some tracking?
Oh, yeah. I was, by cowboy, and you're always tracking, watching, seeing what's in front of you.
Okay.
I was a big game guide for a lot of years. Every fall, I'd go out and I'd guide hunters for elk and moose and deer and bears and stuff.
Okay.
And got to go up to the territories, guide for sheep and goats and stuff like that. So northern BC and southern Alberta. So I traveled around quite a bit and got to do that. And I learned more about tracking and more about the animal behavior and what to look for and what the tracks meant and all that stuff. And
so the human behavior, is that very close?
Oh, it's nowhere close. No. Yeah, the animals are typically going somewhere, doing something. They're either grazing across a field, or they're laying down, or they're going to water, or they're going to a bed ground, or getting out of the weather, something like that. Where people are like, it's like trying to follow a butterfly. They're like, "Oh, look at that. Oh, that's cool. What's over there?" And then they hear water running, and they go over and see what's going on. And typically we get, like I showed you girls on the show, it's like you get to a big cliff or something, the first thing you do is grab something, throw it over. It's all that human psychology stuff. But yeah, I got into search and rescue in like 93.
How did that happen? You just thought, did someone ask you, "Hey, would you be interested?"
They were starting a group in Turner Valley, the Foothill Search and Rescue, and my sister talked to one of the head guys, and there was like 4 people, and she invited me. So I missed one meeting, and then I got in on the ground floor. So I'm one of the 5 founding members of it. And yeah, it grew. It's up. I don't know what the numbers are now. I haven't been there for a while, but it's still doing well.
Wow.
Still going on. And there's like 1 or 2 members there, still there from when I was there. So yeah.
Can you tell us,
it's cool.
If you've been in search and rescue, that you probably have some stories, like
not that many.
What kind of, wasn't there, have there been any people on the loose that they called you in to help track, that like criminals?
No.
There was none of that.
They won't let me do that.
Okay.
Because I'm the first one going down the trail. Mm-hmm. And if it's a bad person, then he's got a big stick or something, then they're going to hit me, and the insurance for the people behind me doesn't cover me. So they won't let me do that.
That makes sense. And then, so for search and rescue, it's like maybe somebody has a kid missing or, and that's the kind of, you've done a little bit of that then?
Yeah, we did. We've done lots, I won't say lots of searches. We've done searches when I was there. I think I was only in there probably 11, 12 years, somewhere in there. And, you know, we did missing person searches where people, they'd find their car and they went for a hike and they just disappeared. We did those searches, searches for kids, lost hikers, lost mountain bikers, that kind of stuff.
Did that often end up well or more so not so
Most of the time well, yeah. There was a couple of times, and I wasn't on them, where it was, it didn't come out 100%, but it, you know.
Well, thank goodness for people who can be helpful in those situations, because that's super scary.
Yeah.
Super scary for their families as well.
Yep. Yeah, I get lots of calls from people like, you know, the search and rescue is called, the RCMP or the police are calling off the search and he's been missing for 2 weeks. Can you please help? It's like, I need to be there on the first day, right behind the dogs, before I can do any good at all.
And the chances of finding someone as the hours go on just get really slim.
Depending on weather, yep. If the weather's cold and really grumpy, your chances go down every day. If it's, you know, summertime in Florida, then you have a better chance of surviving like 4 or 5 days.
Definitely. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So I bet that's been a little bit of excitement for you.
It was good it was really nice because I got to learn a whole bunch of different things. Like, you know, rope rescue and helicopter safety, landing zone officer, search manager, tracking, all that different stuff. So everything I learned through that really helped with the show.
Yeah.
So
then I guess we'll go back to this lady's looking for someone, and you were mentioned. And so how did they approach you for the show?
They just, my cousin called me and said, he's going to call you. So he called, and the producer and another lady producer showed up, and they videoed me and put me, you know, I put my slicker and my hat on and stood against the old barn I had there, and they videoed me. And then I didn't know this until season 6, but my horse actually got me the part.
Really?
Yeah. My horse kind of solidified it. I guess that's a word.
Yeah.
And because we did the whole video thing up against the barn and, you know, walking around and looking at tracks. And so I caught the old horse and we saddled up, and I was just riding around and, you know, looking and stuff. And he was filming this. And then he said, okay. And he set the camera up and he said, get off your horse and come over and talk about a track. And I said, well, just give me a track. And there was snow on the ground. So I said, yeah, okay, just give me a track. And he says, just talk about it. I said, I need a track. So he said, fine. He stepped in the snow, and then he backed up and goes, wait a minute, got to set the camera. So he got that all ready. And then he had the little camera where he shows me riding up and getting off my horse and coming over. And he said, just ride a little circle and then come up to the track. And I went, okay. Well, I rode a big circle because I had no clue what I was going to say. It's like, what do you say about a track in the snow?
Okay, so you bought yourself some time.
There's a track in the snow. And I'm like, okay, that's it. So I rode a great big circle, and I'm like, I don't know. I got off my horse and I walked up and I knelt down and I looked around and touched the track. And I'm taking in the air to say, I got nothing. And my old horse stuck her head over my shoulder and kind of looked, and I looked at the horse and said, horse, looks like we got company. Got back on my horse and rode away, and the producer said, at that point you had the part. So it was actually my horse that solidified it. So it was pretty cool.
What was it that they were looking for the horse to do?
Nothing.
It was just that...
That was just pure luck. You know, the horse and I had been together. I had her owned her 19 years.
They liked your relationship and...
Well, no, it's just the horse showed up and I said what I said and got on and rode away.
They loved the look of that.
That's it, yeah. The fact that I ad-libbed something about that and...
Yeah?
Yeah, we were good to go.
That's so funny.
So
what a good share.
It was pretty cool.
So then they let you know and they said, what is this going to look like? So they kind of make you an offer, and then do you guys plan together what this Mantracker show is going to look like?
No.
They have it all planned out?
I had nothing to do with it, and he didn't have a plan either.
Okay.
I got a plane ticket. They said, yeah, you're it. We start filming in May. And I got a plane ticket to the Yukon.
So you guys did it.
So, and he said, yeah, bring what you want. And I'm like, okay, do I get a horse?
Well, how did you get your horse?
Well, do I get a saddle? What? So I packed my saddle and a bridle and a small blanket and my chaps and spurs and boots and all that stuff. And away we went to the Yukon.
Wow.
And we got there, got into the hotel, and it wasn't the first show, but we got there and got to the hotel, and I met my cameraman and met the other producer and the few other people. There's like 5 of us in total. 3 cameramen, 1 production assistant, and 1 other person. And I went out and met my horse, my guide, and we rode around a little bit so they could film both of us. The next day we showed up and we got on our horses and they said, you guys wait over there.
So they just gave you a horse?
Yeah, I just show up and I get a horse. It's like, there's your horse, there's your guide, we start tomorrow.
So how does your horse solidify it, and then you have to go out to the Yukon without your horse?
Well, that's why you're a good cowboy. They just pick a horse for you.
Wow.
And sometimes it was good, sometimes it wasn't. Mm-hmm. But we're sitting over there, and they had the prey around the corner doing something. And about 45 minutes or an hour later, they came around the corner and said, okay, come on up. So we rode up, and there's a big fire pit there because it's near an outfitter, and he had a big community fire pit. And there's about 5 people standing around. And I walked up, and I said, so what's going on? And he says, okay, away you go. And I'm like, and I look, and there's like 3,000 tracks around this thing, and I'm like, okay, I need 1 boot print from each prey. That's all I need. They're like, well, no, just go. And I said, where? You guys have been walking around here for an hour, and you've walked over there, I can tell, and you've walked over there, and there's like a big padded down area over there. I said, you got to give me something.
You were supposed to just make magic, apparently.
Apparently. But anyways, he relented, and he walked over and said, okay, there's one and there's the other. I said, thank you. And my cameraman got behind me, and away we went. And we headed down the trail, and I'm following the tracks and looking around and doing what I should do. And we got to a T in the road, and Chuck was my first guide, and he was pretty good. His mom was a medicine woman, and he's lived in the bush a lot, and he was good. He was a good tracker, as well as good or better than I was. And we got to the T, and I got off my horse, and I lost the track. And Chuck's looking, and I'm looking, and I'm like, I don't know where the hell they went. And so I went to the cameraman, and I said, okay, I don't know where they went. What do I do? And he says, I don't know. I'm here to film you. And I went,
find them. Look in the trees.
You're not going to tell me what to do or say or where to go or nothing? He goes, nope. I can find my way back, but the rest of it's up to you. Oh, man. And I'm like, holy crap, I've actually got to do this. So then everything starts coming back in your head, and it's like, okay, go back to the last track you found, and you never destroy the last track, any tracks. And so I went back, and I found it, and I took like 3 steps, and then it's like, oh yeah, the trail in the grass. The color in the grass is different. So I went, okay. So we got on, went down there. We just cut the corner of the T, and then there's their tracks in the sand. And I looked at Chuck, and it's like, damn, we actually have to do this. And the cameraman gave me no help, nothing. So away we went, and
because he's not the Mantracker, he doesn't have a clue.
He doesn't have a clue, but I really expected it's TV. They're going to tell me what to do, how to do it, when to do it, and how fast to do it, and all that stuff.
And they were like, "You just got to be the real deal, man. We're depending on you." Apparently, were you a little frightened?
I was scared to death. It's like, man,
I'm frightened for you, and if the show's over.
I've never tracked 2 people for 2 days and tried to catch them.
Yeah.
And I don't know where they're going.
Yeah.
So it was pretty cool.
Wow.
And I think the first 2 were Russ and Susie. The first episode, I think it was Russ and Susie.
Well, that's good to know because back to what you were saying, like people have this idea of what a reality TV show looks like, and they often are like, everything's planned out and everything's,
There was nothing planned. On my end of the deal, the only thing planned was I tried never to get bucked off my horse. So that was my plan. Other than that, I'm going to go and try to catch him and see what happens.
Yep.
So
did you prove yourself that day? Obviously,
we
wanted
caught them.
You.
We caught Susie and Russ before the finish line. I think we did.
So that was
a long time
like
ago.
Your first trial. That was like an episode. Was it? Like Susie and, oh, wow.
Yeah,
so there wasn't even like, you're going to practice?
No.
It was like, these guys actually went, and it was like, you got to find them before, oh my word.
Yeah. Yeah, we had no practice
dumped
runs.
You right in head first.
Exactly. Once I got those 2 brute prints, it's like, see ya.
Because I thought these were like practice people, but no, you're straight in. Okay.
Right in. First episode. Boom.
Oh my goodness.
We never did any episodes or part episodes that did not air.
Why don't you tell our viewers what Mantracker, the whole game, was supposed to be about? What is Mantracker about? Like, how is it supposed to work?
It's two people on horseback chasing 2 people on foot. Mm-hmm. They have a map and a compass. I have a guide. My guide is supposed to know all the trails in that general area. And I don't know where the start is until we get there. Okay. My cameraman will direct us somewhere. And we never knew where the start was. He would say, okay, they've started, or they're gone, whatever, you can go now, go that way. So we're like, okay. And we would go that way till we found somewhere with tracks, and then we'd follow them. Okay. Later on, season 2 or 3, they started to fire a flare. So we'd see the flare, and we might be 1.5 miles away. And I'd just look at my guide and say, you get me to where that flare came from. Okay. And he's like, oh, okay. Well,
and he knows the lay of the land
a bit.
He's
supposed to.
Okay.
Supposed to.
Sounds like another story.
Oh, yeah. There's lots of them. Yeah. So and my guide gets me somewhere close, and then we start looking for tracks. And the cameramen for the prey are really good. They didn't really step with the prey. So when I got somewhere, there was only 2 sets of tracks.
Okay, good.
And once they headed down the trail, I didn't care, because there's lots of times, if I'm following you and there's other tracks on the same trail you're on, everybody says, well, why don't you follow those tracks? Why don't you follow the cameraman's tracks? It's like, I don't care. I'm after that person and that person.
You can't lose sight of those tracks.
I don't care who else is there. I don't know it's a cameraman. There's no thing saying I'm a cameraman.
Yeah.
So I just follow those 2 people. And we went through parks and, down the sides of roads. And there was all kinds of times, like public trails.
Now, I know I have obviously watched some of these shows, your episodes, and I was honestly blown away by the extent that some of these people tried to get away from you.
Oh, yeah.
Like actually crazy, like repelling, and I think sometimes almost dying, and asthma attacks for sure. And shale on the side of mountains that was pretty sketchy.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. Some of the places they went was pretty goofy. But later on, like season 1 and 2, they really didn't know, what they were getting into or what the premise was, and they didn't realize that it was real. And a lot of them, they got there thinking the same thing I did. It's a TV show. They're going to tell me what to do and where to go. And it's like, there's your map. There's your compass. See ya.
Well, hopefully you know how to read a map. That's that.
A lot of them don't.
This is like, and the wild it doesn't care about you.
No.
So I could tell in some of these, oh man, I saw some people fighting you so hard. Like it was like they could not lose this battle, or it said everything about them for the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a few funny stories, or tell us some drama that happened? Any stories you can think of that were...
Very little. There was no drama created, and I don't know about the prey.
Yeah.
As far as I was, I I was not asked to create drama.
Yeah.
I was focused on what I wanted to do, and I was very intense, and I wasn't there to have fun.
Yeah.
And as far as the prey, I don't know how much they were coached or asked to do different stuff.
But is there anything like crazy that happened? Like, did anybody have to go get hurt, or anybody have to get...
About the worst we had one guy bonk, which is those that do adventure racing and stuff, they'll understand the term. But what it is you drink so much water, you flush all the salt out of your body. And then your body is salt deprived, and you start getting headaches and nausea and stuff. We had one guy do that. And one of the cameramen and the course designer was really good. He does that adventure racing a lot. Okay. So he gave him a couple of big old pills and a bag of salt and vinegar chicks. I don't know. I think they were salt tablets.
Yeah.
And a bag of salt and vinegar chips, and said, chow down, dude. And the next day he was ready to go.
Okay.
A couple of people, Erica, she hurt her knee, and it was kind of funny. It was Erica and Kendall. Kendall hurt her knee. Sorry, not Erica. They were sister-in-laws. We filmed this up in the Yukon. And I was riding that big brown horse that I start every show with. That's a marvelous horse. And we got done the show. We filmed for 2 days. We get a winner and a loser. Then we go back to specific places and redo what happened. But we get cameramen in front and cameramen beside.
Okay.
So we get better footage of what happened. We don't change it. We don't add to it. We don't make it up. It actually happened.
But you get all the different
And the cameramen were always behind them, because the cameramen don't know where they're going.
Yeah.
So we go to the exact same spot, and then we film them from a couple of different places. And Kendall, we were near the end. We do pickup shots for 2 days. And near the end of second day, there was one part where I came ripping around a corner, and the two girls were right there, and they jumped down over a big grassy bank, and they ran down to the bottom. And I stayed up top, and I told my guide, I said, I'm going to give them a false sense of security and let them think that I can't go down there. But I said, tomorrow afternoon, we will go down there and scare the crap out of them or catch them. So we were doing that shot because my cameraman was behind me. We went around a corner. Their cameramen were off in the trees doing whatever, and they didn't get it, so we had to redo it. And Kendall's knee was quite sore by the end of day 2, and this is 2 more days after that. And she's kind of limping, and it's like, oh, it hurts. And we had it all set up, so I was going to come around the corner, lope about 2 jumps. All she had to do was turn around, scream, and jump over the edge. 1 jump. And because that's exactly what she did. Well, every time I'd come around the corner and she'd go, and then she'd kind of limp over the edge. And the cameraman's and the producer's like, no, please, just give us 1 jump. She's like, well, I can't. It hurts too much. And he's like, all right, do the best you can. And we tried it about 4 times, and she kept, her leg was broke.
She's like...
It's like she acted like it was broke. So I'm sitting there, and Puddin, the horse I was on, I called her Puddin. Her name was Kluwani, marvelous horse. My cameraman was over here because I'm supposed to go in front of him, and the other 2 were farther on filming the prey. And I waited, and I said, my cameraman was Shifty. And I just very quietly said, Shift, I'm going to come in front of you really fast. Don't worry about it. And he's hanging onto the camera, and he just gave me a thumbs up. And you could see a shit-eating grin on his face because he knew I was going to do something stupid. So I came around the corner, and I normally just loped up. And this time I started just 2 seconds before the producer said action. And I came loping around there kind of quiet, and I was about 8 feet from her when he said action. She turned around, and that horse is right there, and she screamed and jumped over the side of the hill like there was nothing wrong.
You scared her into it.
I scared her badly. And she jumped and went, and the producer said, cut, we're done. And she came limping back up, and she cussed me out. She was mad for a long time afterwards.
Yep.
It was brutal. She wouldn't talk to me at dinner. She wouldn't even look at me. She was
But I bet
mad.
the team was like so happy. They're like,
Oh,
hey,
yeah.
we could use him for a few ideas.
Oh, yeah. I did that several times that, just that 1 second. And
Yeah.
all it takes is just to put them out of their element.
Yeah.
She was too comfortable. It's like, oh, it hurts.
Yeah.
But when that horse is coming at her 8 feet away, she all of a sudden it
Just
doesn't
goes
hurt
for
anymore.
it.
Yeah.
But maybe the next day.
Oh, yeah. Oh, she was sore the next day too.
Oh, yeah. And so I'm trying to get this straight because I don't remember this part. How many days are you potentially tracking them?
2 days.
It's 2 days.
2 days.
Okay.
Yeah, they have, I think it's like 36 hours to get to the
Okay.
finish line. But I don't know where that is, so
Okay.
I have no clue. They have a map and a compass and,
And did you catch everyone?
oh God, no. No, I tried, but I caught 70%.
Okay. And then some of them made it.
Yeah, some of them made it. Yeah.
Yeah. And I saw some. You have to give credit to some of those people. They're really
yeah.
those fighters.
Yeah.
It was like their
Yeah.
life depended on winning this.
Well, by about season 3 or 4, people started to see the show and they started to realize what they had to do. And then they started wearing
Okay.
camo and face paint. And then they started, streamlining their packs because they realized they only had one night. They didn't need a sleeping bag and a tent and,
Okay.
a stove and all this stuff.
So they were learning from the other
Oh, yeah.
episodes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and we started to get better. The first season, they basically just took, like you and I, and put the 2 people together because they wanted that dynamic headbutting, yelling, screaming, crying stuff. And they didn't get what they wanted. And then they found out that there was even more headbutting and disagreements if they put 2 sisters together or 2 brothers or family members.
Oh.
So
for
they
sure.
found out, and I don't know if I think they got what they wanted from all the prey, because there wasn't any of them that I don't think are good. And I used to do a lot of public speaking. I'd do like 25 events a year,
Wow.
and I'd travel all over Canada doing that. And there's some shows, there's probably a half a dozen I can think of right off the bat, nobody ever asks about. And there's about 10 shows that everybody wants to know.
Really?
Who's this? Where did they come from? What was this doing? Where did they get that? But there's a half a dozen shows like I can think of right now that I've never been asked about those 2 guys. I've
Really?
never
It
been
just
asked.
because, and that's the point. Like that's why when you're doing a show, it has to be memorable in some way,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's the reason they need to like try to spice it up or put 2 sisters together or whatever. But I saw some real loyalty in there.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Just like someone who can't go on any longer, and then they're just like, well, I'm going to because I'm going to stay with this person.
Yep. Oh yeah, we've had guys, girls.
Yeah.
They're like the guy was almost at the finish line, and then it's like, I got to go back and see my partner. As much as he didn't like him, as much as a dipshit that he was, he still went back, and he ended up getting caught because he was trying to help his buddy.
Yeah. That's what I mean. There's a sense of loyalty
There's people
there.
that have gone back. They could have won, but they went back and they kept the team spirit.
Like no man left behind for Mantracker.
Yeah, kind of.
Yep.
It's like they're not going to leave him back there to get drug out of the bush by a rope or something. I don't know.
But the extreme stuff that I saw, like, I mean, there was like repelling, like actual repelling. There was the girl who we have talked about who just like freaks out because all of a sudden, I think that was your guide that showed up.
Yeah,
And
that was Curtis on that one.
She's so afraid in this moment that her instincts kick in, and she's been fighting so hard. I think this was day number 2. And I was laughing so hard. I was like, what's happening? Because all of a sudden, like after this huge fight, you guys make it across this fence. And I can't get that picture out of my head where she has her slingshot with nothing in it.
Yeah, yeah.
And she just holds it at him and don't move.
Oh yeah, she was.
Back up. Don't move. Like I did not do all of this for you to get me now. Like it is not happening. And it's like, there's nothing in the slingshot, but those instincts just kicked in.
Yep.
Right. And seeing like You would think some of these people were being like tracked for real, and they were criminals or something.
The adrenaline rush was real. There was a lot of it, and I got after about season 3. I never got to meet him season 1. Never got to meet anybody before the chase. Okay. After the chase season 1, I'd go that way, they'd go that way, and if I was lucky, I'd look out my hotel room, see them get into a cab, and go to the airport. That was it.
Okay.
I never got to talk to them, nothing. Season 2, I said, I want to have dinner with them.
Yeah.
So, I'd like to talk to them for an hour or two and just
get
their
before?
ideas. After.
Oh, okay.
Never got to meet anybody before.
No, that makes sense. That's a good idea.
So season 2, I got to have dinner with them. So I got to sit across the table and have dinner with them. Season 3, they realized that if we went as a group, they could put all 3 cameras filming the prey doing something, and then the prey could rest, and they would film me and my guide doing something on a horse. And, if there was times where I was running through trees and stuff, but they couldn't film it. Yeah. So we would redo that shot and get better footage.
Yeah.
And some of the prey, I got to talk to them. And the first one was Samantha, Brian and Samantha. We caught Samantha, and she was crying, and she was kind of peeking around a tree at me. And then finally she came in front of the tree, and she just stood there, and she was scared and crying. And I said, "What's the matter?" She says, "I don't know what you're going to do to me." And I'm like, holy crap.
What did they tell you people about this show?
Yeah, and I thought, wow, they are 100% in this moment. They're in this show.
That's what I saw too, is like, there was actual fear in people's eyes. Yeah. Like when Mantracker caught them, Terry's going to kill us.
Yeah,
like,
that's what they
What do you think, I'm eating you for dinner? Like,
but yeah, so Samantha, it's like, oh my God. And I was shocked. And I got off my horse and I said, so I guess a hug's out of the question. And she looked at me and said, "You want a hug?" And I went, hell yeah. So we give her a big hug. And then she said,
and you're like, "But you're caught, by the way."
Yeah, well, she knew she was caught. But yeah, so I give her a big hug, and I said, "Okay, we got to go. So, cameraman will look after you." Mm-hmm. And away we went after Brian. And from then on.
So can I go back to, why did they split up? They just felt like the best course of action?
Well, she was slower than he was.
Yeah.
She was slower and a slower runner.
Pardon me, Brian's going to see this, but are you leaving her behind?
He might, yeah. He bailed. We caught her and he went that way.
No way.
But we caught Brian, so it's okay.
Oh, man.
But yeah, so after that, I started talking to the ladies. And I said, do you, during the course of this, get that guy chasing girl stalker feeling? And every one of them said yes. It's like, there's a guy back there on a horse chasing me.
I can see
and
that
I don't
for some
know what
reason.
he's going to do to me when he catches me. And even like season 5 and 6. And I had a couple of girls that were black belts. And they said, "No, I knew you were chasing me, but you weren't going to do nothing I didn't want because I'd just kill you." I'm like, okay.
Oh, maybe I'm supposed to be the scared one here.
So they were confident because they could defend themselves. But a lot of the women said, "Oh no, there's that definite guy chasing girl stalker thing." And we're thinking about it the whole time.
And it's like this really vulnerable feeling because, like I was saying, like, you're in nature, and some of those girls ran into a bear. What are the animals some of them ran into? There was a number.
Yeah, Shannon and Stephanie, I think they saw a very scared bear leaving.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was,
But that still brings on more, that still gets your heart rate up.
Oh, yeah.
That's still, like, it's not only like you're tracked, it is called Mantracker, but then you're also dealing with, like, all of these things in the wild.
Yep.
And all of a sudden an animal might show up, or a cougar could be watching you take a drink by the...
Yep, yeah. There was in the southern Alberta that we did have the prey and the 2 cameramen were followed by a cougar for a little while. And they got lots of footage of it and lots of video. And then they decided that maybe this cougar wasn't just there to have fun. And they started to yell and scream and throw shit at it and chased it away. But
really?
Yeah. And as far as bears, we didn't run into very many. Up in the Yukon, we did.
So you didn't only film in the Yukon then?
Oh, no.
Where else did you film?
We filmed if you draw a triangle from the Yukon to California and over to Newfoundland, we filmed in there.
Wow.
We only missed 3 provinces, Manitoba, New Brunswick, and Prince Edward Island. We filmed in all the rest. We filmed in California, Utah, Colorado, and Hawaii.
Really?
Yeah. So
how long did it take you to do like a whole episode? Because you had to go do
basically
some backtracking.
5 days.
Okay.
The first day was meeting my guide and my horse and, showing him where to ride and why and seeing if he could ride and stuff like that.
And I guess some of those places would have been just based on where they picked people to track. And so they're like, we're going to them.
Very few. Russ and Susie got to film in the Yukon. They lived in the Yukon.
Yeah.
Steve and Tommy got to film in Newfoundland. They lived in Newfoundland. But like we had Christy and Stephanie, we filmed them in, I think, Colorado, and they were from Toronto.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we very seldom put them in their own area.
Okay.
Very seldom.
Actually, that's probably a better idea.
Well, yeah, it was fair for all of us.
Put them in somewhere, yeah.
Yeah, because it's like, oh, yeah, we're just going to run over this hill and grab Uncle Joe's boat and go across the lake. And, yeah, it's got to take him 2 days to go around it.
True.
That's what we didn't want.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was.
And did you have favorite places where were your favorite places to film? Those are just
everywhere
crazy, beautiful places. Like, what about Hawaii?
Everywhere that I caught them was a favorite spot.
Yeah. That totally makes sense.
Hawaii was cool.
Yeah.
Totally.
Different.
Oh, totally different. Yeah, it's like there's nothing there wants to hurt you, bite you, or, do that. But the lava tubes, they were half scary. Because you'd ride along on your horse, and it's a lot of lava, because it's built out of lava. And your horse going thud, 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 and all of a sudden it goes bong, bong, bong. My guide, Leon, he just said, keep riding. So you're going over a lava tube, and you get to the other side, and then it goes thud, thud. And he goes, yeah, you go over those a lot. And I'm like, oh, crap.
Nothing came out of that.
Yeah.
Did you guys have horses? I guess I had mentioned this once before, but do you guys ever have your horses, like, borderline in danger? Because sometimes it looked like it.
Every time I got on them.
They were in danger just having you ride them.
Pretty much, yeah.
But there was like that one episode, and I had brought this up because I guess your lead, is that what it's called, a lead? He knew the area, and he knew how deep that water was.
Oh, my guide.
Your guide. But just watching that episode, it was like, it actually looked like the horse was going to break its leg or somehow get taken away in the current. It was like up to its neck. I felt like it was up to its neck.
Yeah.
So there was like, I don't know. I was just really surprised at the lengths that the show.
Yeah, that one there, I think Curtis and I split up.
You did split up.
He went that way and I went this way, and he had to get across the river. And he swam his horse across, and then later on he found a better place to come back. But
I remember he was putting cold water on the horse's leg too after that, because the horse's leg was limping a bit.
It could, yes. Yeah.
So it's like a horse could break their leg out there.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah.
And I think there was wasn't there a lot of places that the horses just couldn't go that the people went? Like some of that shale.
There was a bunch, yeah.
Yeah. So that would be probably what they have going for them.
If I'd have been 20 years younger, my horse would have went there, but I was older and I was smarter, and it's like, I don't need to go there now, So
Nor do you want to put a horse in danger.
Well.
Or they can handle a lot more than you think.
Yeah. Putting a horse in danger is all relative.
Yeah.
To how badly you're scared.
Right.
So, yeah, it was fun. It was good. We got.
So how many episodes did you guys do?
59.
That's a lot.
For Canadian reality, yeah, it's pretty good.
Wow. And you had a lot of people know you. So you had a lot of views.
Yeah, there's a couple out there.
Yeah, you had a lot of views, and I guess you wrote the book after.
I did, yeah. I wrote the book in 2012. We finished filming in 2010.
Right.
Yeah.
And is there any other crazy stories that you can think of that you want to share about the show?
Oh, there's lots.
There's so many.
I'm going to throw Andrew under the bus, because Andrew and Hainsley, we filmed that one up in Elliott Lake, I think it was, with Phil. And we had them, they were coming up the creek, and I think we had already caught Andrew, and Hainsley was coming up the creek. And it's big boulders and not much water, and Phil was over here hiding in the trees. And I'm doing everything I can not to look over there. And I keep looking over this way and letting him believe that, and if you walk into a room and somebody kind of does that, there's somebody over there. Well, I did just enough of that he thought Phil was over there. And I kind of moved over this way, and there's some rocks and stuff. And I purposely put myself out of position. I was down the bank just enough to give him that out, that he knew Phil was there. He had to go this way. And I didn't know it, but like 50 yards behind me, there was a bridge. And that was the finish line. I didn't know it. And I kept trying to get Hainsley this way because Phil's there. And it was working perfect. And I put my horse out of position knowing full well that if he sprints, I can't catch him. But Phil's right there. And he's looking over here and he's watching over here and waiting, and he sees the out and away he goes, and he took off, and he's probably only 15 yards from me. And he's probably within 2 yards of Phil. And Phil is just going to run out and jump in front of him, and then by then I'll be there, and then we'll do what we do. And he goes zipping by, and I'm like, dude, and he's gone and no Phil. And I turned and I got out of the creek, and I chased him, and he beat me to the bridge by 20 yards.
If you would have knew that finish line was
and
there.
I'm looking back, and it's like, where's Phil? Where's Phil? And finally I see Phil riding around the corner like 5 minutes later. Like me and Hainsley are visiting and damn near having a beer. And finally Phil shows up, and he looks at Hainsley and he goes, oh no. In not quite that language. And he rode up and goes, what happened? And I said, where in the hell did you go? And my cameraman kind of hung his head and he said, sorry. He said, you were talking, and I got Phil up on the road, and we were filming him running back and forth, just getting footage, because I didn't know where anybody was, and I shut your mic off. And I'm like, so Hainsley won, because Phil was up there doing funny stuff on the road. My cameraman was up there. And the cameraman shut my mic off.
Sounds like a lot of fun.
It was a blast, and I don't think we would have caught Hainsley. He was about 6'2" and very fit.
Yeah.
But Andrew was, I don't know, 5'8", football player, good shape. And we got to watch the episode 2 or 3 days before they aired it. And I watched it with his mother. There was probably 50 of us in the room. And I was sitting beside his Andrew's mom. And when I caught him, the whole room erupted and cheered and clapped. And she gave me a big old knee slap, and she said, thank God you caught him, because we couldn't have lived with him if he had won. So
I'm telling you, man, there's so much ego on that show.
Oh, I know. So yeah, and Andrew was so cranked because he hurt his ankle or something.
Yeah, it's easy to hurt yourself out there, I can tell.
Yeah, well, I think he had a previous injury that we just aggravated, and he ended up falling down. And yeah. But.
So it makes it kind of tricky when they don't even actually tell you where the finish line is. Or
I have no clue.
So it's basically just like catch them as fast as you can, and
well, I have to track them to know which way they're going, and hopefully they don't go in big circles like some of them, because then I have no clue where the finish line is. And if the prey are kind of going south all day, my guide can say, you know what, if they keep going this way, they've been going south all day, the finish line is probably to the south. So we kind of surmise, and then he's like, okay, there's a trail goes there, and there's one over here, and there's a big lake in the middle. They got to go around it, and there's a bridge, there's cottages, there's a highway, there's all kinds of things, and sometimes it's just a big tree in the middle of a field that is the finish line. That's the finished spot.
So only they know where that finished spot is.
I don't have a clue. So.
And did anyone get lost in the middle of this and go out? We don't time out. We actually are lost and we don't know where to go, and you got to go.
Oh no, they're lost, and Yeah, it was
So then if you get lost, you just like lose?
pretty much. If you don't finish, like it's supposed to be around 4 o'clock day 2. If you're not at the finish line, you lose.
Okay.
And I haven't caught you, but that's your time limit.
Yes.
Luke and Mike in Northern Ontario. Mike made it. He won. We chased him the last 50 yards to the finish line. And had I known Darby, I could have roped off Darby. I would have roped him and drug him back, but I didn't know that. But he won. But Luke was lost. Luke was gone. Oh, Luke was walking, and he had a cameraman with him. That's why they get 2, so they can split up.
Okay.
And finally, the cameraman says, "Where are you going?" He says, "Well, I'm going to go this way and down to the lake." And he's like, "You're off the map here. The lake you want is way down here."
Oh, shoot.
He was like 5 miles away from where he wanted to be or where he thought he was.
Yeah.
So yeah, he was messed up. So we ended up, he got a ride back to the trail and he lost because he was off the map, didn't know where he was, and said, "I'm done."
And how many people was part of it that you have to lasso them? Because I know sometimes you lassoed them, but you didn't have to.
I tried to.
Yeah.
On a couple of occasions.
Because they were like
I tried to rope Justin and I missed him. And I had a horse. I was on Darby. I could rope on that one, but I just missed him. He came down a hill, across a road, and I had 1 second to throw it before he hit the trees, and I missed him. I tried to rope Brock, and I think that was in Invermere, and I was on a big black horse that nobody had ever roped on, but I didn't know that.
Oh.
So I threw the rope, and the rope went that way, and the horse went this way faster.
Yeah. Was it scared?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
scared crapless.
Oh, no.
So I missed Brock, and I ended up that the horse freaked out, and then as soon as the horse realizes there's something dragging, it freaks out worse. So I ended up, I had to throw the rope, get the horse settled down, go back, coil up my rope, and put it back on the saddle. Then we could go catch Brock.
It just sounds like
I don't know what I've got
just
under
knowing
me.
you. This is like what a perfect show for you, though.
Oh, it was perfect. It was great.
This is like you getting to be an adult boy again.
Oh yeah. Well, cowboys never grow up, so
Yeah. Well,
it's pretty fun.
it looked like a really fun time.
It was a blast. There was times where I wanted to take the producer out behind the building and beat the crap out of him because it was the course designer, who was also one of the cameramen for the Prey. He was a marvelous guy, but he had no clue about horses.
Right.
And he's like, "Can you take your horse down a bike trail?" I'm like, "A bike trail like across, the side of a highway or through a swamp?" He's like, "Well," and I said, "Did you ride your bike down the trail?" "Well, no, I kind of had to carry it a lot." I said, "That's not a bike trail. That's a swamp." He said, "Well, it was wet." I went, "Probably not." And then he'd say, "Yeah, okay, it's a good bike trail. I rode it." And I would take my horse down there, and it's like one false step and my horse would still be there. It was just little like bridges they used for
would have like
snow.
broke its leg or something.
Oh, it would just sink in the mud or fall through a little corrugated bridge or something. But there was one time we were filming west of Longview, and it was perfect because I got off my horse. We were doing a pickup shot, and I got off my horse and I walked over to the same culvert that they ran through, and I'm looking at stuff. And then I head back because we're done filming, and I only had to walk 50 yards. And Lawrence was holding my horse. And he said, "Oh, wait there, I'll bring the horse." And I went, "Okay." And as he's walking on silt. So you step, and there's a little bit, it's like sand beach. There's a little bit of water around your footprint.
Yeah.
And he's walking, and I said, "Lawrence, how's your footing?" He went, "Oh, it's good." And I said, "Look at the horse." And he turned around, and Lawrence is a tall guy, but the horse's head was like this high. That horse was sinking probably a foot and a half into that silt.
Because the way its hooves are.
Well,
and
it's just
so
it's like
heavy
wet
and-
sand.
Dude.
And it's silt and mud. And the horse is just stepping. And a good horse, he just stepping through it.
Not looking out for the horse then.
And he turned around and he freaked. It's like, what's going on? He had no clue. And I said, that's what it takes to read the ground. I said, so many times I'm like, I can't go in there. And you're like, why not?
Yeah.
It's like, that's why not. I know I can't ride a horse through that, and you have no clue.
Yeah.
So he said, well, what do I do now? I said, you try to get him to go back. You have to turn him around. He can't back up in that shit.
So he had to learn a few things.
Yeah. So he's like, oh my God, how do I do that?
It's probably good for him.
I said, turn around and walk backwards. Walk out. So the horse was good enough. It just followed him and walked back out. It was fine.
Everyone's learning.
But he had no clue. And there's so many times, season 1 up in the Yukon, there was several times my cameraman would call him and go, how did you get from here to there? Oh, well, it was a little wet. I just kind of skipped onto the high spots. And I got on the radio and I said, Lawrence, horses don't skip. They're 1,200 pounds of meat. And we had a tough time that day. But
everyone had a lot to learn on that show. Hey?
Oh, yeah, tons. Yeah.
And you, for the most part, got along with people and there wasn't too much drama, it sounds like.
Yeah.
But then what makes them go, okay, we've had enough episodes.
Oh,
time to end the show.
Contracts. Dispute.
Contracts. Okay. Not always pretty.
No. I signed a 3-year contract and producer wouldn't sign his own contract. So we ended up not going any farther.
Really?
I don't know. He wouldn't. He just said it's no good. And I don't know why to this day. So.
Really? Well, people are still watching Mantracker.
Yeah.
We still watch it sometimes.
It's on Amazon Prime or something like that now.
Oh, maybe it is.
Something. I've heard that.
But after the show, you wrote a book.
Yeah.
Can you show it to us? Tell us about it. It's got your face.
Yeah. I'm not impressed with that picture, but it's okay.
It's just got like a dark shadow over your face.
Yeah.
Tell us about your book. I obviously have a signed copy.
It's basically the basics of tracking.
Yeah.
So it kind of gives you an idea of same thing as the tracking course you ladies took. Mm-hmm. It shows you what to look for and what it looks like. And, there's 3 levels of tracking: your feet, your hips, and your shoulders. The 2 widest points of your body and then where your feet hit. So yeah, you put all that stuff together, and the human psychology for tracking is amazing, because humans will do certain things, and we're right-footed or left-footed. You're always going to step up on the curb with the same foot. Mm-hmm. You always step up on the stairs with the same foot, but you tend to step down the stairs with the opposite foot.
Interesting.
So dumb stuff like that it's all in here, and when you're in the bush, the biggest reason people get lost in the bush is they take a shortcut. They get out there and they look on the map and there's a nice big, the trailhead. And it's like, oh, there's a 5K loop. Let's do that one.
Yeah.
And they get to the 2K mark and there's another trail and they're like, well, this trail's going that way and we want to go back. So let's just go this way. We'll go straight across. Well, they all curve in the bush. Everybody curves. And if you know which way you curve, you can counterbalance it.
That's interesting. Yeah.
But most people
There's so much cool stuff.
Yeah. Most people don't know they curve and which way they curve. So they end up going in a big circle, and then they come out at another trail and go, oh, this is where we are. And they think they're way down there, and actually they're way over here.
That's what I'm saying, though. Like, it is so easy to get lost out there.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'm a woods person. We've done lots of hiking. Yeah. And it's like, at any given point, you're like, I don't know.
Yep. Yeah.
And I think you taught us, it's been a while now, but I think you taught us that for the most part, people will always take the fastest course of action.
Yeah.
They will
the path of least resistance.
The path of least resistance.
Yeah. And we gravitate downhill because it's easier. Mm-hmm. We're lazy. If we're walking on a side hill, we will, every step, we might just go a few inches downhill, but it's hard walking this way, but it's easier to go downhill.
That's why this book is cool.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of cool stuff in there.
Oh, yeah. It's pretty cool. It's
so
pretty fun.
Even without the internet, we might be able to track people down.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you have to, because a lot of times there's no internet out there, and Google Maps doesn't show you where you are and what you're doing and where the other person is. So.
Yeah. Well, I want to share this book on we're going to make sure that we put a link to this beautiful Man Tracking, the ultimate guide to tracking man or beast.
Yeah.
And you're a hunter as well.
Yes. Yep.
So
I hunt and I used to guide, but I quit doing that stuff. So
yeah, I remembered that.
yeah, my knees told me it's time to quit.
Yeah.
So
It's almost like somebody made you jump off a cliff 5 times.
almost, yeah.
Well, I appreciate you being here. And
This has been fun. It's been good.
it's been awesome to just
Yeah, good to see you again.
have a conversation about all of this. And
And
if
we'll wait
anyone,
another 8 years. We'll do it again.
we'll do it again. And
I'll get in the queue.
if somebody wants to purchase this book, I'll put a link. Is it on Amazon? You guys were a
yeah,
bestseller.
No,
And
it's not on there anymore.
Okay.
If it is, yeah, the wrong person makes money off it.
How can somebody get a hold of this book? Do you know? They can reach out to me.
Yeah,
That
that would do it.
I can have them reach.
You can be the middle person.
I can be the middle person. So if you want to get a man tracking ultimate guide to tracking man or beast,
Yeah.
I can help hook you up. And yeah, I just really appreciate your time and
Oh, that's
and
pretty cool.
all of your awesome stories.
Yeah, it's been fun.
I've
Been
always
good.
loved this show. So
Thanks.
thank you.